Hi Dale, how are you doing?
Hello, Dale. Hello.
Hello.
Hola, Fede.
Hello.
So yeah, Dale, we were talking about you being a world traveler, right? You're all over the place.
Yeah. It's a bit of a weird time to be a world traveler these days, let me tell you.
Are you also a surfer?
Yeah. So in
So-
Lima, that's the thing to do. Like Lima is one of the world's most incredible cities for surfing. So that's what we do here.
That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
My
Nice.
husband's from Lima,
Oh, really? Oh, wonderful. Cool.
but we live in Mexico. So
Ah, great. Wonderful. Yeah.
Also travelers of the world, right, Don?
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah,
And I think I was just going to say, like, I'm also supposed to be moving on to another part of the world in the next few months, but the jury is out on whether that will be happening anytime soon. So we'll see.
So where are you planning to move?
I'm going to be moving to Busan, South Korea, which is like on the southeast corner of Korea, and I'm going to be working at the Busan International School as their technology coordinator there.
okay,
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
That would be a big move from Peru to Korea.
Right now, we're just crossing our fingers and hoping that it's possible. But yeah, we're in week 8 of a pretty strict lockdown. I just got my Google Maps. You know, do you guys get the timelines from Google Maps when you see like?
I got it yesterday.
I have been to one city and I've moved 1 kilometer in all of April.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
One day at a time, right? Like,
When I got it yesterday, I was looking at it, and yeah, it's just one pin right there. It's like, it looks like I'm really behaving. You know, I'm not moving around.
you're not moving. That's good now.
Hopefully, so go ahead.
No,
No,
I wasn't
go
thinking.
ahead.
Before we start, we're gonna play a short video clip, and then we'll keep on our conversation.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back. See.
And I'm gonna sign off, but I'll be watching in the back. So
Okay, good. Have fun.
Bye, Tom.
Okay, so now we're back, Dale, and now we're all going to just be paying attention to Dale and his Innovator Project, which is actually related to the world, as we were talking about.
Yeah, so I created an Innovator project back in 2017 called EdPins, and EdPins is a project that uses Google Maps to connect schools around the world and share the best of what's happening in a school through Google Maps.
Oh, it sounds awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's so we have a mission statement, and it's to highlight the beautiful, unique work in every school. And what's really special about Google Maps is I know that we have people from all around Latin America, and you know, Google Maps is a great equalizer of all schools. So every school on Earth can go onto Google Maps if they're not already on Google Maps, and every school on Earth has the same tools, the same level of visibility, the same access as every other school. So it's a really, really, really great place to have a conversation around learning that everyone can participate in. And they're multimedia, like you can put in photos or you can put on videos. They automatically translate themselves. So if I'm checking out, let's say, a school in Thailand or something like that, and people have shared information in Thai, which I don't speak, I can read it in my native tongue. So there's a lot going on there that that makes Google Maps a really interesting place for talking about what's happening in schools.
Yeah, I just shared your Twitter handle for EdPins, so people can follow, and maybe you also get to know a little bit more. But before we get into like the project per se, I was wondering if maybe we could talk about how you came up with the idea, maybe before you went to the Innovator Academy. I know that this was maybe you must have started with some sort of an idea, and who knows how it has evolved and changed. And so let's talk about before going or attending the Innovator Academy. What were you thinking we needed, and maybe how you came up with this idea?
Yeah, so like a lot of Google innovators, it took me a couple tries to actually apply and get accepted into one of the academies. So I had applied previously with other ideas that were really good, but they weren't scalable. So what that means is basically the projects that I was pitching meant that I needed to be doing everything, otherwise it was going to stop or wouldn't go forward. So when I came up with EdPins, what was kind of the secret sauce in that case was that it was a project that was really scalable, which means that I can build it and get it up and running, and then anyone can participate in it around the world, and it doesn't just solely rely on me. And how I kind of came to think about it was I'm really involved in Google Maps, like we were just talking a while ago. I'm really involved in something called local guides, which is like sharing information about your neighborhood or where you live on Google Maps. I really like the data and all the analytics that comes with it. And it just kind of dawned on me one day that Google Maps is not just a mapping platform to get directions to drive to work or anything like that. It's actually a social media. And there's actually, it's one of the products that has over 1 billion daily users on it. Over 1 billion people use it every day. So it's incredibly visible, incredibly powerful. And the idea was to just take these review cards that we have for businesses and kind of, like I said, repurpose them. Instead of leaving a review of your school and just saying, this is a great school, I love Mr. Plotzki, 5 stars, to try and take that card and to really be a little bit more objective with it and to try and talk about what happens at your school. Like, what if I was to go into school, what would the learning be like? What are some of the opportunities that are there? What are the projects like? How do you do service work at your school? And then again, it was 3 years ago, so I have a hard time remembering exactly like the steps leading up to it. But that was it. It was basically, very much inspired by local guides and the idea of sharing information on maps.
Okay, no, that's it. I think that when you mentioned that, it's nice to see like quality information, because reviews. Sometimes we'll find like great reviews who might have probably been written by somebody who's just with helping out the school, and there's also times where we might find really bad reviews which are not truthful either. So it's nice the way you mentioned that it's important to find to have something where you present what school life is really like, which I think is important to think about it. So and also another thing that you mentioned, I don't know if Patty, the same happened with you, but getting to apply to the Innovator Academy and getting accepted takes more than one attempt many times. In my case, I also had a couple of attempts before getting accepted, and it's a nice way. Also, I also like to look back and look at like what I applied the first time, and and I can see how just before even getting there, I was becoming maybe better at thinking how I could present my ideas, and then, well, of course, attending the academy is also something. I don't know. I think it's got like a pretty big impact on your project once you get there and you meet a whole bunch of people who have all these ideas. So I don't know if maybe you could talk with us maybe about how you were in Sweden, right? Well, that's your cohort.
Yeah, I was in Sweden 17. And I think there's been one more Swedish cohort after that, Sweden 19, I believe. Yeah. But I agree with you that, the application process is really good for your thinking, because you need to be thinking about what are the challenges I see in my school community? What are the issues that are really kind of holding my learners or my team back from really embracing better learning at school? And so by applying, you're actually really thinking about how you can make your own school a better place. And whether you get accepted or not, like switching your mind frame over to that kind of track, I think is really, really beneficial for every educator.
Yeah, I was wondering maybe we could talk about how was the application process, maybe when after a couple of attempts, maybe what were you thinking about of considering once you were setting up, okay, now this EdPins is gonna be my project. Let's say when you were applying, what had you learned from these previous attempts, and how to like really focus it on what was necessary?
Yeah, well, I think what I did was I would apply, and I had, like I said, these were good ideas in the sense that they're valuable and they were well intentioned and they could make a big impact, but they were just kind of missing that piece about, well, this is really just about one person. So what I did is I took my previous attempts and I reached out to my community on Twitter and through my PLN. And for people who had been in the Innovator Academy already and who were willing to meet with me, I just got their feedback and their advice, and I showed them what my project was, and I maybe had them think about, what was good about it or what would maybe need to change. And that's kind of where I got turned onto this track of making a project that was scalable and that could grow to something just beyond my individual running of it. And I think that was really key to kind of helping my project take off. And since then, I've been trying to also coach other prospective innovators to think about projects, to kind of present their projects or their problems rather in a certain way that could maybe help them get through the strict application process. And the process is, you need to be level 2 certified educator.
Mm-hmm.
You need to create a slide deck that explains your problem, and also an application video that, again, kind of talks about the issue you want to tackle and also showcases your personality. So it's a fair amount of work for just applying. I would say that for a lot of teachers, it's a couple weeks of gathering all the materials and putting it all together for it to come together.
Okay, before we continue, Dale, I'm gonna do a quick translate for some of our viewers who have asked for a quick Spanish translate. So I'm gonna share with them an idea of what we've been discussing so far. Bueno, vamos aquí rápidamente les voy a ir haciendo una corta traducción de lo que hemos ido hablando. Dale ahorita nos estaba compartiendo primero, pues, de toda su experiencia para aplicar a la Academia de Innovadores Google. Les recordamos que este año van a haber unas academias, hay 4 academias y entre esas va a haber 2 en español. De las cosas que nos decía de pronto que son importantes, el proyecto de Dale trata sobre ubicar instituciones educativas en los mapas, digamos, usar los mapas para ubicar instituciones educativas y para incluir como información de calidad, que no sea solo un review de, esta institución es la mejor, porque no sabemos qué quiere decir eso, pero de pronto algo en lo que se pueda presentar las diferentes, digamos, cuáles son los objetivos del colegio, digamos, si en algunos casos también, digamos, qué marco teórico utiliza el colegio. Entonces, este es un colegio que trabaja con el proyecto Cero Harvard. O sea, entonces que uno pueda realmente, cuando conozca las instituciones, tener un verdadero, comprender exactamente qué es lo que manejan. De él nos comentaba que en el proceso de aplicación a la Academia de Innovador tuvo varios intentos. Y aunque las ideas eran buenas, una de las razones por las que él sentía que de pronto la idea no había logrado ser reconocida o aceptada para la academia en ese momento es porque no era escalable. Entonces, que es importante pensar en proyectos que uno pueda empezar de pronto pequeños, pero que vayan creciendo y tengan un impacto. Hace un rato les compartíamos el Twitter del proyecto que tiene Dale. Y es un proyecto que si ahorita revisan ya el sitio web, voy a compartirles el sitio web también, se van a dar cuenta que realmente es un proyecto que se ha ido escalando, pues me imagino que ahorita confirmamos con Deo, pero me imagino que el primer colegio era en el que él trabajaba y fue creciendo y ahora pues tiene muchos más colegios. So yeah, I know you speak Spanish, you understand what I'm telling them, but yeah, I was telling them probably the very first school was your school, and now there's many more schools that are on the map that are being, but yeah, that's how the project grew from, Lima, and then it just started going from there.
Yeah, so I started with my school, and then I branched out to the kind of the innovator community and through my PL and Twitter. And by sharing that when I go to conferences and when I'm kind of traveling around and just dropping little ear bombs here and there to different people and in the education space, that's how it's grown. And we just have over about 120 schools that have participated at the moment.
Oh, that's a big number. That's a large number.
Yeah.
And so far it's been 3 years, right?
3 years, yeah. So, well,
from launching, maybe less, right?
Yeah, so a little bit less, but about two full years. And like I said, what's cool about the project is now everything's built. So, the forms are built, the systems in the background are built, the website's built. So it's self-sustaining at this point. So we can go on and on and on and on. And I'm always thinking of ways of really trying to bring this out even further and get it into more people's hands, because I really feel like sharing the conversation about learning should involve everyone at a school. So kids should be able to participate in it, parents should be able to participate in it, teachers and administrators should be able to participate in it. And there's not just one voice that gets to own the conversation about what's happening in a school. And another thing that I think is really cool about the project, and what I would encourage a lot of people who are watching to consider, is to look at your school on Google Maps right now and see what's currently out there about it. And it doesn't matter what your school is, like where you are in the world, everyone has 3 types of reviews, okay? Some are pretty negative, some are very, very positive, and some of them will say 4 stars and they won't say why, so they'll be empty. I think no matter what is being said about your school, we can do a better job of using this space. So by talking about learning. And for students who definitely Google their schools on Google Maps and definitely read these, we want to be demonstrating positive digital citizenship to them. So we want our students to look up the school and see positive things written about it. They want to see good examples of what makes their community a special place. And we want to try and suppress some of that more maybe negative stuff that's out there. And that's the cool thing about these Google Maps reviews, is you got a little thumbs up button. And so if people say that this review is helpful and this review is giving me good information, that gets floated up to the top. And some of the more, we'll say, negative stuff is just naturally going to settle down to the bottom. And that's going to be better for everyone.
Okay, yeah, no, I was also, and I hadn't really thought about that the way you say it, but yeah, I think that in terms of, reinforcing digital citizenship, it sounds like a great idea. I do think that when you mentioned that the importance of the school community being more than just, it's not just the students, it's not just the teachers, it really is a community. It's the parents, the students, the teachers, even the custodial staff. We all make part of a huge community, and to get a really clear view on the school, everybody needs to have a voice. And I think that even though, let's say, as we were saying before, everybody has a voice on Google Maps, you don't really know what's going on there. So the idea of having maybe like a controlled place for the voice of everybody is really good. Maybe if we could talk now about how the experience of getting to be in the Innovator Academy, maybe from the moment you found out you were attending to actually going all the way to Sweden, and what impact did this have on the idea you came there with? I'm sure that the idea was going somewhere, maybe over there meeting with all the other innovators. Things must have changed, and they must have helped you see a bigger picture, maybe more possibilities than you were actually thinking there could be.
Yeah, definitely. So getting accepted into the Innovator Academy is incredible. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience that I wish every educator could get to take part in, because it's something that kind of reignites your soul for teaching and your passion for teaching. So you get a notification and very quickly things start happening. So you get an email that says you're in, and all of a sudden there's groups and you're on a website and there's chats, and really, really quickly, like, your whole world starts to pick up space or pick up speed. And then you fly to the Innovator Academy, which usually happens almost on every continent every year. So one a season and all over around the world. And it's usually held at a Google office or a Google kind of workspace. And it's really incredible, because you have all of these educators who are so fired up coming together for usually 2 or 3 days of really incredible design thinking kind of work on their projects. And the energy in the room is undescribable. And so while you're thinking about your project, you have all of these incredible, and everyone who's there is incredible. Everyone who's there is passionate, articulate, really great at critical thinking, really great at giving feedback. So your project and your idea just gets boosted when you're at the Academy by getting feedback from all these people. And then the idea is that at the Academy, you kind of chisel out your project or chisel out your idea a little bit more. Maybe you don't finish. A lot of people actually totally abandon their project once they get to the Academy. And in this incredibly stimulating environment, they decide, actually, no, now I realize that this is what I want to work on. And that's totally fine as well. So once it all finishes, you are kind of on your own to roll out the project and actually build it. And you spend the next year actually checking in with a mentor and making sure that your project is kind of evolving in a good way. And then after that, after your project's up and running and out there in the real world, you're still part of this incredible community. Your Google Hangouts are still going off every day. Your Twitter is going off every day of people that you were at the academy with who are now your #1 supporters in your learning network. It's incredible.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's really a very special experience, no? That you learn so much, not only from the experience itself, but also from all the colleagues and that you're sharing with. It's just amazing. It's just, unbelievable, no? The experience. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm going to translate for a minute what you just mentioned. Ahorita nos comentaba Dale acerca de la experiencia de él yendo a la Academia de Innovación. Entre las cosas que él nos decía que primero nos comentó cómo él empezó a pensar de una idea, de lo que estaba ocurriendo, que propuso una idea, fue aceptado, pero algo que nos comentaba que es muy importante tener en cuenta es que cuando uno llega a la Academia de Innovación se trabaja con una metodología de Design Thinking, que para quienes no estén familiarizados con eso, pues involucra mucho de prototipar, de experimentar, de escuchar retroalimentación de los demás, y resulta que en la academia pues uno se encuentra con un grupo de 30 y tantos más profesores apasionados por la tecnología, con los que uno va a poder prototipar y decirles, mira, prueba esto que estoy inventándome, y va a recibir pues una retroalimentación muy valiosa de ellos. Entre las cosas que nos comentaba Dale ahorita, y pues lo hemos vivido todos por experiencia, lo sabemos, es que mucha gente llega con una idea y una de las cosas de pronto que más valor hay que tener para hacer es decir, ¿saben qué? Yo voy a matar mi idea porque realmente no sirve. Entonces, pues es importante que estemos siempre como con esa mentalidad abierta, ¿no? A las ideas que pueden llegar, a escuchar las recomendaciones de los demás, y lo otro es que tener muy claro que cuando nos deshacemos de una idea, no es porque entonces se nos acabaron. Muchas veces al deshacernos de una es porque hay una nueva. Entonces, a pensar, bueno, ahora que tengo esta nueva, vamos nuevamente, vamos a ver si fallamos o no. Entre todo el proceso de pensamiento de diseño es un desorden, pero es un desorden que tiene
ordenado, ¿no?
Sí, tiene una metodología muy clara, y hay que, pues, por fortuna se trabaja en una oficina de Google, estaba hablando ahorita Deo, con personas que saben acerca de todo este proceso de pensamiento de diseño. Entonces, a pesar del desorden que uno está viviendo, realmente la secuencia sí se está siguiendo, y uno pues sale con una idea que luego va durante el proceso, durante un año, va a trabajarla con un mentor, una persona que le va a dar apoyo, le va a ayudar a de pronto tomar decisiones. Mira, le va a cuestionar. A veces uno se enamora de su idea y dice, ya esta la tengo, pero ¿estás seguro? Mira que esto no sirve. Entonces, eso es importante pues considerarlo y tenerlo en mente al momento de estar aplicando a la academia, y no solamente cuando estemos en cosas de la academia, en todo lo que estamos haciendo. Mucho de pronto en este momento que estamos viviendo ahora con el aprendizaje a distancia, muchos profesores, aunque no sean conscientes, están probando, analizando y volviendo a hacer modificaciones, pues en respuesta a la forma en que estamos trabajando. So yeah, Dale, I was saying that the way in which we're working right now is very similar to, we, as teachers, we're trying new tools, seeing what feedback we get from our students, and then making, adjustments on the way to see how things turn out.
Yeah, very much so. I'd agree.
Y es increíble cómo después de un año, ¿no? Ves cómo se transformó ese proyecto original, ¿no? De lo que nació en la academia, y al final, al terminar el año de estar trabajando en el proyecto con tu mentor, etcétera, termina algo realmente increíble, ¿no? Que es de gran utilidad para pues, muchos colegas, o para la escuela, o para la comunidad, etcétera. Entonces, de verdad que es una academia muy enriquecedora, uno aprende muchísimo, pero sobre todo la red de colegas que uno llega a crear en estas academias es, bueno, de un valor infinito, ¿no?
And I think another thing to point out too is it's not only the other innovators there at the event, you have Googlers that are there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have a chance to bounce your ideas off, a product manager from Google Classroom, or someone who's involved in working on Google Maps, or someone who's working on Google Drive. And so you have the ability of chatting with other educators, but also getting feedback from the people that are building the products, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, some people were asking us where you're from, Dale. So you're from Canada, right?
Yeah. I'm a Canadian. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I've lived in Latin America for 10 years, and I'm now half Peruvian. So yeah, I've had a long kind of history with Latin America, living down here.
Ah, nice. So you're a Calgary Flames fan, I guess, right?
Correct. That is correct. Yeah.
Nice. I personally prefer the Maple Leafs, but that's.
Oh.
Maybe one of the things that I really liked, and maybe I would like people to know, is that not just the innovator community, but pretty much when we look out to our PLN, when we're trying to reach out to other educators, something that maybe I would like them to know is that we've known each other for a while now. I think maybe for the last 3 years, just via text. It's WhatsApp, Facebook, but it's nice that, let's say, whenever you've asked for something, I've tried to help you out. Whenever I've asked for something, you've been there. So it's nice to let people know that there is a support community, that even though we're not really close together, we will help each other out, and I think that's also something that it's not just related to the Innovator Academy, but in general, when educators are willing to help out online or any way that's possible, you'll find a really tight community.
Yeah, and you might not know each other in person, right? But still, you build very strong relationships with other colleagues in other parts of the world, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I would say too, to your point, they're also very productive relationships as well. Like you mentioned, we'll actually collaborate together, even though we've never actually met face to face. But we will spend time working, sharing ideas, giving each other feedback, and that's a really, really powerful thing, because teachers and schools are such busy places that it can feel tough sometimes to reach out to someone just down the hallway from us and get that kind of one-to-one feedback, because people are so busy. But in a PLN setting, in these kind of online relationships, it seems to maybe kind of happen a little bit more organically sometimes.
Bueno, lo que comentábamos ahorita es precisamente de la importancia de estas redes de crecimiento profesional, del uso de las redes sociales, de comunicarnos con otros profesores. Entre lo que les comentaba ahorita, yo hablaba con Dale, es que Dale y yo desde hace mucho tiempo nos hemos hablado por texto, por Twitter, yo creo que casi que de todas las redes sociales, pero digamos que hoy fue la primera vez en que realmente nos reunimos a hablar directamente así, pero lo importante es de buscar el apoyo con otros profesores. A veces de pronto nosotros mismos nos limitamos y pensamos que no, de pronto, es difícil, no hay tiempo. En el caso que comenta de él, en el mismo institución en que uno trabaja, uno puede encontrarse con que de pronto ni siquiera hay tiempo para hablar con alguien de algún tema. Entonces es bueno tener la oportunidad de compartir con otros y que le den a uno retroalimentación en relación a todo el trabajo que uno está haciendo. Y a cualquier duda que uno tenga, y pues la verdad es que por eso en parte nosotros muchas veces les decimos que en las redes sociales utilicen ciertos hashtags, porque así uno se encuentra con gente que está trabajando en eso. Hay hashtags hasta para evaluación formativa. Si ustedes hacen ese hashtag, seguro encuentran muchos temas relacionados a eso. Entonces, pues para que estén pendientes de buscar conectarse con otros, que lo que hay es gente dispuesta a ayudar. Dale, I guess that talking about helping out, I have no words to describe how thankful we are to having you join us today and help us out with what we've been doing so far.
It was all mine. It was wonderful getting to talk to you. Wonderful getting to talk to you face to face. It was a blast.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's been great having you join us, and it's nice to see that how your project went from who knows what your first idea was to what it's becoming now. To know that there's 120 schools that are using EdPins right now, and I'm sure that now that you'll be we don't know when, but whenever you get to Korea, it will. There will be more schools interested, and very lucky for them to have you over there in Korea right now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Really, thank you very much, and we really appreciate everything you've been doing.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to, again, we've been talking about PLNs, we've been talking about reaching out and connecting. If anyone wants to reach out to me on Twitter or through the website, I'd be happy to chat, share ideas about the project or about becoming a Google Innovator or about anything in education.
Excellent.
Excellent, Dale. So we really appreciate you visiting us today. And I don't know, maybe if you later want to maybe do a specific session on something that you really like, we could just make an arrangement so that instead, this week we've been sharing more Innovator projects, but I think if you have an idea of something you want to share, it would be great to have you join us and maybe teach our community something new.
Perfect. Y puedo intentar hacerlo en español también.
You had a secret there, see? No, anyway. No, and I also, just before you leave, I want to congrats on your ISTE certification, which I know you recently achieved.
Yes.
And we're looking to maybe also have some sessions related to ISTE standards, which are very important. So that technology is not just it's more than that. We could really make sure that the pedagogical aspect is reinforced when using tech.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Okay, Dale. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll keep in touch with you then.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.